Okay, I'm not used to doing this.
I'm trying to think of when I first heard about it. It probably would have been, I used to work for border crossings. So, do you want me to, like, are you going to record this and then, like, edit me?
Well, about 16 years ago, maybe more, I think maybe we have to say 18 years ago, I met Kim Fullerton in a gallery, and I was looking for an editor for an art book. And I met her and talked to her for 3 minutes, and I knew that she would be utterly brilliant. And she was, and the book came out, and it was great, and she's amazing. The point is, that's how people used to meet. You would meet by chance because you happened to go to the same art exhibition. Well, when she launched Akimbo 2 years later, it was a revolution. I didn't even know what social media was. I don't think anybody did really 16 years ago. And it became a new meeting place for Toronto people involved in the arts. And then it spread to Ontario people who love the arts. And I think it's made the biggest contribution in bringing together such a disparate group of people who, the more we're together, the more we can accomplish.
I actually don't remember a time without Akimbo. It's been part of my life for a very long time. I'm surprised that it's only 16 years, but it's been 16 very rich years.
Well, I've known Kim Fullerton for well over 20 years, and when she first came out with this idea of starting web distribution system for arts and arts events, I thought, well, that's ambitious, and thought, I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we are in this new world. At that time, it was still an emerging world. And now, 16 years later, I find that I get tons of information myself from that site, and I find that I use the site anytime I have a story to tell. So it has become, I think, a fabulous vehicle for us in the arts and culture to share our stories and to be able to tell others about the events that we're engaged in.
You know, back in the day, what you would do is collect all of the printed invites that came out and try to hit everything based on the mail. And then Akimbo came about and made things a lot easier. What is interesting to think about that moment in hindsight is that on the one hand, Akimbo responded to a need in a growing arts community, but in another way, because we all had the tool of getting the word out about what was going on, in a way it actually contributed to that growth.
For me at the time, it was, how do I get this message out? So immediately, and I think that if we look back at the history of my relationship with Akimbo, Akimbo became a very important part of how I saw the presence of the gallery. And one of the biggest things for me was to immediately realize that it was not about local, because art is not local. It needs a platform that goes beyond the regional. Akimbo was the perfect platform to reach beyond.
I delight in getting my Akimbos, but I really feel like the addition of the social media really added a dimension to my personal life, because all of a sudden I know all these different words and ways of promoting the programming here, which is what it's all about. So thanks, Kim.
Akimbo is the #1 resource for visual arts in Canada. You go to that if you're a part of any sort of visual arts medium, and you find out all the information that you need, anywhere from events to call for submissions to exhibitions that are happening. It is absolutely imperative that we have something like this in Canada.
I think a number of years ago, Akimbo asked me to be a hit list, and I think that was such a exciting moment for me, because it made me feel like I had made it. You know, I'd been given an allowance to be part of a greater community, or be acknowledged as being an artist that is, contributing to the art scene.
The last announcement that I sent out was for my first exhibition with Lisa Kaler Art and Projects, and I received maybe 10 emails immediately after the announcement went out. And I've never had a response in any advertising in any field that I've ever worked in before. And so I wrote Kim immediately and told her how happy I was with that.
What I really like is the way Akimbo has evolved to include content that's not just about promotion. So in a way, it's also a resource. to help us understand what's going on, even if we don't get out to it. You know, it's a place of conversation and exchange about art.
As an artist and as arts communities and people involved in the arts, it becomes incredibly important to understand the power of that network and of that technology so that we can be critical of it, we can comment on it, we can build artworks that reflect the current state of the world, and we can use it to expose people to the work that we're doing. And that's really what Akimbo's always done.
I think we all feel a little isolated no matter what, being artists. Even doesn't matter where you are geographically, but to sort of have that connection knitting us together across the country is a great thing.
Throughout my career, I've used Akimbo as a means to connect with my colleagues across Canada, learn about what other galleries and what other artists are doing, and also promote my own activities within the national scene. And now, you know, we're looking at Akimbo on our cell phones with their app, and AkimboTV is launching. And so the way we've integrated technology into our daily lives is quite seamless.
Kim Fullerton is one of the true visionaries in the Canadian art world. She has made an enormous difference, and I know she will continue to do so.
It's just part of my life. I read the announcements when they come. I respond to them. I respond to some of the criticism that is included in the mailings. I'm watching with interest as Kim increases the range of media that she's manipulating and making available to us. She's remarkable.
Well, for everyone, I think 16 is a really important year. It's kind of when you come into your own, you're starting to figure things out. It's a really interesting year to celebrate. I mean, most people would pick 10 or 15, but 16 is a really important year, and I really look forward to what's going to happen over the next 16 years.
Happy Sweet 16, Akimbo. It's hard to believe that I've known you since you were this big.
Happy birthday, Akimbo.
Happy birthday, Akimbo.
Happy birthday, Akimbo, to 16 years and many, many more. Thank you so much.
Happy Sweet 16, Akimbo, and I hope there are many more.
Happy birthday, Akimbo. Happy Sweet 16.
Power to Kim, I think it's an amazing thing she's done. Happy 16th birthday to Akimbo, and way to go, Kim.